Auzubillahi minash-shaytanir-rajim. Bismillahir-rahmanir-rahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Dear students of Political Science 11th class, our topic today is what are the fundamental duties? After fundamental rights, our topic is fundamental duties. Original form of the Constitution did not contain fundamental duties. They were added in 1976 through 42nd Amendment Act by inserting Article 51A in Chapter 4A of the Constitution, which contains 10 fundamental duties for the Indian citizens. 86th Amendment in 2002 added 11th fundamental duty. Source of these fundamental duties is USA Constitution. First, let's try to understand what are the duties. Duties are responsibilities, means obligations, moral or legal obligations. That is something you must do because it is morally right or because the law requires it. Assigned services or tasks. A task or action that one is required to perform as part of one's job. Tasks or actions one is required to do. A man is said to have duty in matter if he is under an obligation to do or not to do something. Commitments. Fourth one, commitments or expectations to perform. A commitment or expectation to perform some action in general or if certain circumstances arise. Now, let us understand what these fundamental duties are. Now have a look. First one, to abide by the Constitution and respect its ideals and institutions, the national flag and national anthem. To abide by the Constitution, to stay or to live by the Constitution, and citizens are bound, or it is the duty of the citizens to respect its ideals, its values and institutions. Its national flag, there is the tricolor, and national anthem, the song written by Rabindranath Tagore, Janna Gana Mana. And number two, to cherish and follow the noble ideals which inspired our national struggle for freedom. To protect and to follow the noble ideals. That's ideals of democracy, justice, liberty, equality, fraternity, and so on. Inspired our national struggle for freedom. National struggle under the banner of Indian National Congress. Its foundation was laid by A.O. Hume in 1885, and it provided a stage for national struggle of freedom. And number third, to uphold and protect the sovereignty, unity and integrity of India. To confirm and protect the sovereignty. To uphold, that means to confirm and protect the sovereignty, unity and integrity of state. Unity and integrity, India is one. Citizens have a duty to protect the sovereignty, internal and external freedom of a country, its unity and integrity. And number four, to defend the country and render national service when called upon to do so. It is the duty of the citizens to defend the country and render national services when called by the state during external aggression, during emergency. A citizen is supposed to defend the country and render national services, or in times of calamities, natural calamities. And number five, to promote harmony and the spirit of common brotherhood amongst all the people of India, transcending religions, linguistic and regional or sectional diversities, to renounce practices derogatory to the dignity of women. It is the duty of the citizens to promote harmony, to promote unity, to promote coherence, the spirit of common brotherhood. All are equal amongst all the people of India, transcending that they should surpass religions, linguistic, and regional and sectional diversities. First, accept all people, all citizens as human beings, and other things, religions, linguistic, and sectional and regional and sectional diversities comes later. To renounce practices derogatory to the dignity of women, and to give up, to leave the practices derogatory to the dignity of women, which degrade women. Women contain 50% plus or minus population of the whole country, and their part is very necessary for the upliftment of the society and the country. Men are supposed to respect their dignity. वजूद जन से है इस कायनात में रंग. Accept them as respectable beings and give them the proper place in the society. Don't pass any kind of remarks which are against their dignity. Women are mothers, sisters, daughters, wives. They are necessary. They play a necessary part in the society. It is only when we give them a proper place in the society, when we respect them properly, they can play their role. Behind every successful person, there is a part of women. To value and preserve the rich heritage of our composite culture. To value and preserve the rich heritage, our tradition, our achievements, our beliefs, our language, our inheritance of our composite culture. The culture which is made up of distinct parts, our composite culture. And number 7, to protect and improve the natural environment, including forests, lakes, rivers, wildlife, and to have compassion for all living creatures. It is the duty of the citizens to protect and improve the natural environment, including forests, the green gold. These forests are very necessary. They fulfill our needs. They purify the air. They clear the environment. They provide habitat for the most of the living creatures, for example, wildlife. Preserve the lakes, rivers, and wildlife. National parks, biospheres, sanctuaries are being built for the preservation of the wildlife. Wildlife is not only necessary for food chain and other benefits, we get other kinds of advantages from this wildlife, but they also beautify. We should have compassion. A citizen should have a compassion for all living creatures on earth, under the earth, or in the sea. To develop scientific temper, humanism, and the spirit of inquiry and reform. To develop scientific temper. There is reason behind everything. Try to know the reason scientifically. There is no shortcut to the truth except the scientific method. So we should develop scientific temper to know the reason behind everything. And humanism. People are basically good. People should love each other. There should be a love for people. In the spirit of inquiry and reform. Spirit of inquiry should be developed. To inquire things so that we may reach to its basic cause. And reform. Change for good. And ninth one is to safeguard public property and to abjure violence. It is duty of every individual, every citizen to safeguard public property and give up violence. If violence is pricked, sometimes that becomes the cause. People do sometimes damage the property, public properties. So it is duty of every citizen to safeguard public property and abjure violence, to give up violence. Number 10, to strive towards excellence in all spheres of individual and collective activity, so that the nation constantly rises to higher levels of endeavor and achievement. citizens should strive towards excellence in individually and collectively, so that the nation constantly rise to higher levels, so that the nation may achieve its goal. So it is the duty of every citizen, individually and collectively, they should strive towards excellence for the achievement of the goal of the nation. These 10 duties were added in 1976 through 42nd Amendment. Now, 11th duty, which was added in the list of duties in 2002 by 86th Amendment. Who is a parent or guardian to provide opportunities for education to his child, or as the case may be, ward between the age of 6 and 14 years. It is necessary for every parent or guardian, if somebody is under his guidance, under his supervision, to provide opportunities for education to his child from 6 to 14 years of age. Is a basic right now also of every child to get education from 6 to 14 years of age. It is the duty of the parent also to provide the chance of education to its ward from 6 to 14 years of age. These duties from 1st up to 10th, that is first 10 duties came into effect on January 3, 1977, and the last one, that's 11th duty, it came into effect from 1st of April 2010. Now, why fundamental duties? What are the objectives of the fundamental duties? Fundamental duties develop a sense of nationalism and patriotic feeling among the citizens. Number 2, no country can develop unless its citizens pay more attention towards duties rather than towards rights. Number 3, your duty is your right. Duties and rights are correlated. They are interconnected, interrelated, and interdependent. If some person performs his duty, another person gets his right. And fourth, they help the citizens to follow a code of conduct that would strengthen the nation. Keeping these objectives or the points of importance in view, there are some shortcomings of these fundamental duties too, or the loopholes we may say. Number 1, these are vague. They are not clear in meaning. For example, and some among them are very difficult for an ordinary person to understand. For example, scientific temper, humanism, spirit of inquiry and reform. Lack of legal force. There is no legal force behind them. They are simply voice wishes. So they are non-enforceable. Number 3, unnecessary inclusion. Many of these fundamental duties stand already covered under various laws of the land. Dear students, it was some information related to fundamental duties under Article 51A of the Constitution of India, and our next topic will be inshallah why right to property has been removed from fundamental rights. Assalamu alaikum.